Hey folks, it's Frithgar here, how you doing? Just bringing in the very last load of silage for our pit, and we don't actually have as much in there as I thought we would end up with. I mean, there is still plenty in there. There's more than enough to see us through the winter, but I thought that it would have been filled up a little bit more than it has been. But never mind, it doesn't really matter. We're going to just squeeze in this last little part trailer load, and then we're going to start rolling it down with the Liebherr. And then we're going to get started on our harvest. Now, the harvest isn't quite ready to go yet. We do need to wait a couple of days in order for the harvest to be fully ready to go. And I'm thinking... See, the original plan was that I would have another tractor. I would have 2 tractors and 2 trailers. I'd have 1 tractor and trailer running that trailer over there. Probably that one will actually work up by the pigs. And then another one down here. I'm thinking actually what we'll do is we'll keep this. We've got this Joskin trailer. We'll keep the Joskin trailer here for now, because this one's on hire for doing the silage. But we could also use this one for doing the harvest, doing the grain. So we'll keep that one around, and we'll just jump into here. We're just going to get this silage clamp rolled, and then once the silage clamp is rolled, we can sheet it down. And did I just kick the front of that forage around? I'm pretty sure it did. Or maybe not. I don't know. Yeah, I've also got to put a little bit of food in for the cows, because our harvest isn't going to be ready until Thursday, according to our little list up there. So, but anyway, my weekly question for this week, before we go much further, I am going to be doing 1 more cut of grass this year, but what do you want me to do for... Am I seriously stuck already? Oh, you gotta love this thing. Right, there really is... I'm completely 100% stuck now. It's because I stopped at the top. Yes, so my weekly question for this week is, we're going to be doing 1 more cut of grass, and what I want to know is, do you think I should be doing hay and feeding it to the animals, basically trying to stay self-sufficient with hay and so on, or do you think that I should make silage out of it, sell the silage, use some of the money to buy in our winter feed, and... then we've got a bit of extra money for some other things. So, do you think we should aim towards self-sufficiency, or do you think we should aim towards mass profit and, you know, extra toys and stuff? It's your vote, it's your game. Head in the comment section down below, let us know which one you want and why, and of course don't forget to actually cast your vote in the top right hand corner. Now, I'm guessing the fact that this back thing doesn't have any, the ripper on the back, doesn't have any collision on it whatsoever, is probably part of the reason that it's not doing what it's supposed to do, and why it doesn't sort of work as a plough. It's a bit of a shame, that bit, but anyway, never mind. So what I will do is, if I put it on here and then I go Control F for follow me, now what I'll do is I will just move it forward like that, so it goes right to 0, and then I'll put it to -5 like that. So what it should now be doing, it should be pushing the Liebherr forward, so we can start moving it forward at the same time. Hopefully that tractor is able to just push us forward just a fraction. That's not gonna happen either, is it? We are completely, hopelessly oh, there we go. Whoa! Now I really am stuck. Okay, first of all, let's just stop this one, because it's going mad. There we go, and turn it off of follow and bring it back down here. Option number 2, if we can, I can't believe we've gotten this bulldozer completely stuck on top of the clamp. That's brilliant. This is supposed to be our realistic series, not this isn't Texas. This isn't the one where we're supposed to just be playing around and doing anything and everything that we could possibly want to. No. This is supposed to be sensible and serious. Now what? If I lift... Okay, now I'm just stuck. Okay, there's no way this... Yeah, I'm not doing anything now, am I? What we've done now is we've come down either side of the clamp, of the wall, and we can't do anything. So we are going to have to reset it. We've got no choice in the matter. We are going to have to reset this one, unfortunately. So if I go reset, yes, okay. back out of there, and that's just lagged me out. There's some major lag going on here, and I've lost the map as well. That wasn't supposed to happen. Okay, I'm going to have to go and restart, I think. Unless it's going to catch up. Right, we are back. Yes, resetting this one, for some reason, completely crashed the map. I suspect it's because I do have some tractors and stuff over there, and it may not have been able to fit properly, but whatever the reason, it really didn't like it. So, it might just have been our particular save here. Don't go, get stuck. I don't want you to get stuck. Really, really don't want you to get stuck. It does shove the grass around really easily, all the chaff in the clamp. It does shove it around really, really easily. But one thing that we do have to be careful of is if you put the blade too low, it seems to shove it around a little bit too easily, which could present a few problems if we're not careful. So we will go a little bit slower this time and just sort of see how it goes. And then as soon as we're finished with it, we are going to return this one off of hire, and that'll be it. We don't need to worry about using it anymore. I'm wondering if we could perhaps just shove the top of the clamp, like the big lump of grass on the top, if we could sort of shove this over just a little bit. There. It's going to let me do it. I'm really wary of getting stuck now. I'm really nervous, really nervous. I don't want it to. The last thing I want is for it to crash again. That's kind of not very good. We really don't want things to crash. I really want with every fibre of my being for this bulldozer to be really good, and I'm hoping it's just kind of a little glitch with where I've got tractors and stuff for the reset point, because the reset point on this map is actually in the middle of the yard just here. It's not back at the dealership, which is actually kind of useful, especially for people that like to reset to the farm, just to kind of speed things along a little bit. It is quite a handy trick being able to reset like that. So we've shoved this along. We're actually almost done. 98. I reckon by the time we've backed off, it will be a full 100% on the clamp. There we go. 100% clamped. Stop. And there we go. Right, I'm not actually going to try a land speed record on this thing on here, but I might try to do it on the Texas map. I've got a feeling that I might want to pull that one out this week. I know that I did kind of cheat the compaction on Texas, but still, that doesn't really matter. Right now, we've got this one here. That's all done, so if I just sheet the clamp down, there we go. Next thing, we want to start on our harvest. We have finished our silage. We need to start on our harvest. But before we do that, we've got to get through to the beginning of autumn. And we are going to have to be careful because there's rain forecast on the first day. So I might actually move us forward to the second day of autumn. And then we can start our harvest then. So I'll just keep the animals fed here, sort of potter around the yard a bit. I've got some straw and I've got some hay. Silage won't be ready for a couple of days though, so I may end up not being able to feed the animals their full amount for the next couple of days. We'll sort of see. But anyway, I will see you on the second day of autumn when we are ready to start our harvest. I'm racing back up the road. I've got the very last of the hay now. It's almost the end of the day for the final day of summer. Tomorrow we're due to have rain. Now, I believe the way that the seasons thing works is if you've got straw on the ground and then it rains, it's while it's raining that you lose a percentage of what's on the ground. I think it works that way, and it doesn't wait until midnight, it just does it immediately when it starts raining. And I don't know if you lose all of it while it's on the ground or if you lose a percentage. If it's just grass that's on the ground, you don't lose it. But I'm not sure about hay. If grass is on the ground across midnight, then you lose some of it. And yeah, so it's difficult to sort of judge it. But what we really don't want is we don't want rain. But it looks like the rain is going to be tomorrow morning and really quite early, because if you have a look, it's now predicting rain next, and it normally doesn't do that until you actually get to the next day. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to slow this down a little bit, this speed that we got going, rushing along here, and I'm going to move this one back out of the way. I'll get those bales in that shed under cover. We got 12% left on power food. Power food is going to drop off. We're going to lose that we're going to lose the bonus from that for a little while. We are just going to stuff in a load of hay. But it's showing us how quickly we're going to get through our hay, because we're going to have about the same amount for our next cut. Maybe a little bit more. We might get a little bit more out of it, but we're not going to get a lot more out of it, which means that in theory the hay that we cut sort of in the middle of the autumn is going to last us until maybe the middle of winter, but certainly no more than that. So there is always a chance we're going to run out. We are definitely going to need to buy in hay, but how much we're going to need to buy in remains to be seen. We'll just sort of have to wait and see on that one. And now I've got to maneuver this trailer around in such a way so as to be able to unload it into this shed as well as I can. And I'm thinking I'm not going to bother stacking them neat and tidy, because we're going to be using them up so rapidly. I don't really think that it matters. So what I'll do is, if I put them like that, then I can unload them there, and then I'm just going to sort of shove them into the shed. It's not going to be pretty. We're not stacking these up neat and tidy. We're just going to shove them under cover so that they don't get rained on, and then we can move on to the autumn. So if I go around, I'll get that sorted out, and then we can transition from summer through to autumn. A little bit of grass shoved back in for the cows, and that'll keep them going. They've got I've put base food in. I've lifted up I've increased the amount of base food that they've got there. Power food is just about to run out, so we're only going to have the 50% bonus from this. The grass is going to disappear as well, so we're only going to have a small amount of bonuses. But we've got enough in there. We've got the food. We've got the base food in there that they need, and we've got a little bit of grass it'll keep them going for a little while. It's just not going to keep them going the whole time. They've also got water, so they're not going to starve. They'll be okay. They will survive. The bales are not looking pretty, but I did warn you. I did say that they're not going to look pretty. We just want to shove them under cover, out of the way, so that they don't get destroyed, and very quickly they'll get used up anyway. We're going to have to buy in some straw. Actually, I don't think we're going to need to buy in very much more straw. We've got a load of bales that we're going to be making in the fields, and we'll be able to stack those in, because we're going to do square bales, which it should be easier to stack them in. We've got that spike there that we can use for handling the square bales. If we take a look here, silage is at 35% at the moment, so it's going to take a little bit longer before we've got silage available, which means that we are going to be sticking to just plain base food. We're not going to be having the power food bonus on our cows for just a few days. But this is a transition. We are now going to go from summer through to autumn. I think it's probably about that time. There we go. Right. Resting for another day. Leaves are getting brown. It's becoming colder. Autumn has arrived. Right. The rain is now finished. There is not going to be any more rain. Productivity is 55%. And the mouse pointer has stayed on the screen, which is really frustrating, because usually if you just press enter, it doesn't do that. This time, however, there's no way to get rid of that apart from exit the game and come back in. So that's what I'm going to have to do, unfortunately. I'll see you in a minute. Right, that's that bit sorted out. Time is still ticking away. At the moment, we've got the wet crop sign up in the corner, so we're not able to do very much. We can just quickly chuck a bit more grass in for the cows. That's going to bring their productivity up a little bit. I don't think it's worth us buying any silage bales. I mean, what's this? This is at 50%. Actually, we're going to wait another 3 days. Maybe we ought to buy in eight bales of silage so that we can just sort of see us through the lean times. You know what? Actually, no, we're not going to need to worry about that. We can put some grass in from here for now. That's going to tide us over. And then we can just go and get the forager, and we can stick grass in again. That's going to take us to 75% productivity. And that should be enough. I don't think we're going to need very much more than 75% productivity just to sort of tide us over. I just don't like it all in red. Yeah, 73%. Partly, I think, is because it's still it's still got quite a lot of dirt down here. The cleanliness percentage, that's the one I was looking for. The cleanliness percentage. So 73% isn't too bad. We can live with 73%, I think. It's going to give us a reasonable amount. And total number of cows that we've got now is 160. Grass at 12%. Productivity 73%. The power food has now gone to 0. What's the straw situation? The straw situation is going to have dropped now. Yes. Because we've gone to autumn, you suddenly start using a load more straw than you were. Which means, and silage and hay is also getting really low. It's using it up so fast. That's the problem. It does use it up quickly. Ground is still wet, and so is everything else still wet at the moment, but that's okay. We can live with that. It should be dry before too much longer. The temperature does, I think the temperature affects how quickly it does that. If we load up here a minute, now we can just grab a bale of straw, and what you can do is you can just grab bales of straw and keep chucking them in until they don't sort of disappear, and then you can leave a bale of straw stuck into the cattle pen, and it won't make... It'll sort of stay there until it can be used up. And it is quite... I mean, yes, it may not be 100% realistic, but I know plenty of farmers who do chuck a big bale of straw in, and the cows, they leave the bales of straw in whole, and then the cows slowly use it up, and they sort of break the bales apart themselves as time goes on. And so after a few days, the bale of straw has been kind of spread around in the pen. So it is some people do it like that and some people don't. It does tend to be in a larger scale farm that it's done like that because of the sheer number of bales of straw that you've got to put in. You can't be breaking them all open all the time. It doesn't really work very well. So we're not being unrealistic here, I don't think. Base food, right, if we slow down time, we've gone on far enough, so it's lunchtime now, and straw at the moment is at half. So if I take one more bale of straw out of here, we've got 2 bales of straw. We're going to get a load of straw today anyway, so we don't need to worry about a lack of straw now. We've got a little bit of grass in for them still, so they can stay at the 73%. We've got some more grass there that we can chuck in if we need to. There's another bale gone in. The cows are fine. That'll sort of tide them over. What we want to do now is go and get some... What is the base food's at 23%? Well, that's fine. We can leave that. We want to head now straight up to the dealership. We've got water in there. We've got straw in there. We've got a little bit of silage and hay. I say a little bit. It's 10,000 litres. That's 2.5 bales. And yeah, they are going to need more. But we're hopefully we'll be able to get some silage and we can do it that way. Now, what I want to do is I want to go up to the shop, visit. Now, I asked you last week, it wasn't actually a weekly question, but I did ask you what you thought I should do with the combines. And most of you sort of went along with what I sort of suggested, was that we get this one. We're going to buy both of these combines. We're going to have 2 combines running on the farm. So we've got standard with the warning trial. We'll just go with the standard. Nothing fancy, nothing extra. We go with that standard, 45,000. This one, we'll set up wide tyres, twin wheels, or standard. I think we're going to go for wide tyres, actually, because this is a bigger and more heavy combine than the Massey Ferguson one. That is, well, it ought to be a smaller combine. That's what I would imagine. So a 6-metre header, I think we could get away with running a 6-metre header on the front of the combine without having to go and also on the Massey Ferguson. So select that one and buy it without having to use a header trailer for it. So what I'm thinking is we can get away with doing that. So we get that one as well. That's 12,500. So we've got 2 combines for around about 100,000. If we do go and look at the header trailers, is there one for the Massey? Yes, there is. There's a little one for the Massey. Is that actually a header trailer? I'm not sure. That's the one for the C600. Let's take a look at our new beasties. I mean, that is a wide header to be driving up the road with. So maybe we ought to consider getting a header trailer to put them on. That might be the best approach. Okay, you've persuaded me. I've listened to your arguments, and I feel that you do have a point. Perhaps we ought to get a header trailer. So we'll get one of those, standard, or what have we got? Oh, with warning triangle, we'll go with standard. Yes. And we'll go to this one for the C600. Purchase, yes. Okay. Back out. Right, so now we have 2 header trailers as well. Just take a look at them. Which way round is that? Oh, the header would come from this side. This one here seems a little bit different. I've never seen a header trailer like that before. I'm sure there are plenty around. So let's get this one first. And how are we going to get round here? I think we're going to have to go forward or we're going to end up hitting the header. So we've got our 2 combines. So yes, most people thought that my suggestion of using the Massey for the canola and using this dominator. See, it's a mega dominator. It is a dominator. I knew it was a dominator. It says mega, but it says dominator on the side. Someone said, I can't remember what else you said it was. I'm sure there was another name for the combine as well. Right. It looks like in order to hitch this one on, we're going to have to jump out and go like that, maybe. I've pressed a couple of buttons. Right, I allowed it to be hitched on from the outside. Now, there we go. I'm moving. Oh, it's because I've had the joystick using. No, the combine is moving. It's not me, it's the combine. It's not me, it's you. It really is. This time it is actually the combine that is moving around. Sliding ever so slightly, and that's not a good thing. Let's lift that header up. Maybe that's having something to do with it. No, this combine is actually moving. It's just very, very slowly sliding around. That's a bad thing. I'm hoping that's not like a permanent fixture. That's going to be really, really annoying. I really don't want that to be happening. Stop there. It is heavy. You can see sort of the way it goes and it stops. It's quite a heavy machine and it's sitting back quite a lot. I don't know what's going on with that one. We're just going to leave that one there for a minute anyway. And we're going to come over here because we're going to start our harvest today with this little Massey Ferguson over here. This one's going to go into the canola. A lot of you agreed with me that this one is the one that would struggle more with doing wheat. Although some of you said that you used combines like this to do wheat. But wheat is a heavier crop. It's more difficult to get through. Over in the States, you guys, you do things a little bit differently. You do very extensive. We do intensive farming here in Europe. You do extensive farming over there in the US. So your yield per acre is considerably less than what our yield per acre is. We're looking at yields of 4 to 6 tons an acre, whereas you guys are looking at, I think it's like 1 to 2 tons an acre. Yeah, 2 tons in an acre is like a really good crop, as I understand it. So because of that, and it's because we do plant our crop thicker. We plant the seeds more closely together, but also we add in. We put a lot more fertilizer on than you do. We pay for the extra yield. We do apply over here in Europe a lot more fertilizer than you guys do over in the States. Detach the PTO first. Come over here and right, there's detach the PTO. Now if I come in, I can take that one off. Can I carry? Yes, I think I can. I can carry it around with this combine. So we want to take this one over to the canola fields and we can start cutting immediately. We probably won't start the Dominator cutting today. We'll probably start that one cutting tomorrow. So that's actually going to be next week now, isn't it? So let's come back here and yes, it does hitch up. And yes, I'm so strong that I can actually lift up a header trailer like that and attach it to the back of the combine just like that. It's like a minor miracle. I'm not actually sure how you would go about hitching that up. I guess what you would do is you'd have a jack and just literally lift the thing physically up into place so that it would go on. That's the only way that I can think of doing it. I've never seen a header trailer look like this before. Never in my life. I didn't even know such a thing existed. You know, one thing that I haven't actually done is check that the crop is actually ready to harvest. It would be embarrassing. I was going to a sea of green. I suddenly had a bit of a panic then. But it's not a sea of green. We got our wheat fields down here. That's our canola fields there. I don't know what those are up there. That's so a few of the hired help, not the hired help, a few of the neighbours' fields. They're ready to go as well. Right, we've got beacons all over this one. Ideal, we can use that. If I come up here now, where am I? Ooh, no, don't drive into other people. I think what we'll do is if we'll go right on here. We'll do it here on this patch of grass right here. We'll park up our combine, and if I come swing round like that, I have kind of knocked the header a little bit crooked there, haven't I? Can take off the beacons, come round and unhitch that one. It's going to let me. Yeah, you just got to get in close enough to be able to do it. Right. We come there and then we can back up and we can get this one. I have actually run out of time. I did intend to actually get started on this harvest today, I mean, we will just at least dip the header into the crop. How's that? We'll just dip our toes in and check it out for warmth, and then we'll move on. So if I come down here, I press Q to sort of initiate hitching on, and then I can press it from up here, and it works. There we go. And like that, lift it up. Now I come back down here again, and I press Z to actually attach the PTO, and it's all hitched on and ready to go. Here we go. This is very exciting. Very, very exciting. We'll get a tractor and a trailer up here in our next episode. This week's question: do you want me to do our next cut of grass? I've got a tiny bit of wheat left on the corner there. How bizarre. Do you want me to do the next the next cut of grass that we get? I don't know if we're going to get another full cut of grass, because if you take a look, if we select the grass here now, and then we go to growth, ready to harvest, 69 is 6. Oh, actually, I think we might have a full cut of grass on here now. We'll go and check very briefly and just see what the... Yes, we have a cut of grass ready to go. So we're going to do another cut of grass off of all of our fields. When we do it, do you want me to do it as hay and use that to feed our animals through part of the winter? We will still have to buy in some food. Or would you rather let me just lower that one down. Would you rather I did it as silage? We sold the silage bales in the middle of winter. No, I don't want to do that as a hired help just yet. We sold the silage bales in the middle of winter, and then we used that money to buy some hay bales for our... Yeah, see, it's flickering between the two, but it should be okay. I'm just going to come back here. I know I'm spraying stuff all over the road, and you really shouldn't be doing that. Yeah, do you want me to make silage bales, sell the silage, and use that money to buy hay and have a little bit left over? Maybe we could buy some surplus straw if we need to as well. Or do you want me to try towards more self-sufficiency and make hay in the fields with the last cut? So we do a second cut of hay. It's your vote, it's your game. Head in the comment section down below, let us know which one you want and why. And of course, don't forget to actually cast your vote in the top right-hand corner. We are combining. We're actually doing our combining. I've missed a little bit there, but that's okay. We will come back round and we will get that on the next pass. It's all okay. Everything's fine. Where's the sunlight? Oh, the sun's directly behind us. That's why I can't see very well. I am missing an awful lot out the side. I think you've got to sort of be out a fair way with this one. The combine looks okay. It seems a very stretched kind of appearance to it, doesn't it? I mean, don't get me wrong. I think this is great, doing our combining like this and all. But yeah, it does have this kind of weird, stretched sort of look to it. I'm guessing that's what the combine is like, because I know there are combines that do look like that, and I always think that some combines do look very, very strange. Just the way that they're kind of very elongated, and also, yeah, some combines kind of look like a perfect combine, exactly, almost a picture-perfect machine. And then others, they just look really, really strange. I don't know what it is. I can't quite put my finger on it. Some of them just don't look like... They don't look very combine-ish. Is that a word? Sort of... Does anybody get what I mean with this? I mean, am I just kind of randomly rambling about nothing in particular? I mean, I know I do that quite a lot. But anyway, we are really going to have to go. We will be really caning our harvest next week. We'll get most of it done. We should get well into this baling straw as well. We've got all sorts of things to do. But that's all to come next week. If you enjoyed this episode, please head down below and give us a like. And if you really enjoyed it, please tell your friends all about me. Get them to come and watch as well. That would be awesome. But until next time, thank you very much for watching. This is Frithgar. Goodbye, and see you later.